Hello, Haley here. It won't look anywhere near as impressive now because the tornado warning has expired. Oh, hey, there's a new one. There was a tornado warning. Let me give you some context, out in Virginia. And if the radar frames are still there, I want to show you hook echo. So, like, right about in here. And now, if you've seen this kind of stuff on TV, they're probably using the smoothing, and it's much easier to pick out. But, like, you can see there's like a notch. So there's like some strong stuff back there, and then there's like this notch in there. So there is a hook echo, and then it kind of just falls apart. And I don't remember the science of it, but I believe the tornado, if there is one, now because this stuff can be indicated on radar, and you can have, you don't necessarily have a tornado on the ground, but I believe the tornado would be back here. Let's see if there's anything exciting going on in Maryland. I mean, obviously exciting. Does it look like a traditional hook echo? And apparently not, because I don't think you generally see traditional hook echoes when it's in a lot of radar clutter. Another thing we could take a look at is the base velocity, see if that shows anything. No, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell that kind of stuff, so I often switch over to storm relative velocity. So, I don't know. And, you know, the National Weather Service, they got way better radar programs and stuff, man. Because I think this uses the same... Well, actually, that's not true. If you want to get really geeky, I believe this is level 3 radar data. I believe what the National Weather Service is using is level 2 radar data. Do I know the difference? Heck no. So, you know, we move on. But, see, so what you'd see... One of the things you might see is, like, tightly coloured... a tightly coupled differences in color from like the greens to the purples, and this is going to depend on what your software is, because I'm pretty sure that the color scheme is just irrelevant or whatever. It just needs to, be graduated from one end of the spectrum to the other. I don't know if that's the word. Anyway, so we've got a tropical storm warning over there. We'll talk about that later. We've got some more heat, as always. Heat advisories, or heat advisory. Red flag warnings, that's the fire warning where it's dry and possibly windy and hot. Yeah, I think. An excessive heat watch down here, California and Arizona. Here is who hasn't seen enough rain. And here is who's actually going to get some rain. So this is the most we've seen on the 5-day quantitative precipitation forecast in quite some time, 10.8. So again, that's something we're going to talk about later because it's a tropical storm situation. It's actually predicted to be a hurricane. Let me spoil it for you in a fact. So again, Texas and Oklahoma, New Mexico, a smidge of Arizona, these areas will not be seeing much relief in the next 5 days, apparently. And here's who's still flooded after all these many months. So, let's switch on over to Pennsylvania. So we're looking at the storm relative velocity. So I'm not a scientist, but what you'd be looking at is this is potentially where the tornado might be. Let's look. This is what everybody's generally used to seeing, is the base reflectivity. And again, I don't see a classic hook echo. I believe that's something of a supercell thing. And supercells, I think, are generally like on their own. They might be nearby to something, but it's generally not like a whole bunch of stuff going on at once. Anyway, so... yeah, as you can see, this is out here. Let's zoom out. In Pennsylvania, so about smack dab in the middle of Pennsylvania is where that's happening. And hey, guess what? Pennsylvania's in the slight risk today. So here is the specific chance of damaging severe wind. Right, and again, Pennsylvania, look, hey, how about you guys? Here's hail chances. 30%. And here is the really relevant bit, right? 5% chance up in Pennsylvania. Looks like what? New York, New Jersey. I get fuzzy. What state is that? Let's zoom in. I don't know. It's one of those. Maryland, I believe. Delaware, maybe. Anyway, so if you actually know where you're from, you'll know that area better. Here's tomorrow. 5% chance as of right now. So it's much more explanative, I don't know what the word is. If we switch to the probability map where you can see the 5% chance there, 5% there. So if it were 15%, that's where you'd see a slight risk. But instead, no, it's just thunderstorm areas is what that's showing. And here we go with the Eastern Pacific. Well, we have post-tropical cyclone Greg, we have near 0%, we have 10% chance. And this is the tropical wave from Harvey. And we have Harvey, tropical depression Harvey. And Harvey's going that way and going to die, apparently. But here we go is the important one. Tropical storm Irene is this is the best guess path, and I'll show you the scientific predicted thingamajig. But as you can see, as they're actually, they're showing that it's going to become a hurricane. Now, I believe it would say M. Yeah, M for major hurricane, so it's apparently going to be a low-level hurricane, but a hurricane. Oh, there we go, there's another H. It's going to be a hurricane nonetheless. And of course, as times get closer, we'll know more. So basically, this is a whole bunch of the scientific models, and they're basically all saying that it's going to hit Florida. So, obviously, if you live in Florida, you're probably paying attention to that. Ah, we've got another one. Look at all these tornado warnings, all of them hanging out. So we'll look at, again, we'll look at base velocity, and I believe that's the wind. Okay, base velocity, I believe that's where this is the absolute winds in relation to the radar site, and storm relative velocity, I believe, is where where they bring in, like where the radar site is. It calculates that or something, so I don't know. But green to red, I don't know. That's it, I don't know. Anyway, so wikidwix.com, wickedwx.com. If you are over in these areas, you should probably start paying attention to the weather, righto. Take it easy.